Hey, this is Trish, and I was going to do a different video today, but I kind of want to just speak from the heart on a random topic, and that is what I've been experiencing in really working on ArousedWoman magazine. I had wanted to get this magazine out last year, in fact, and I did a number of really incredible interviews. The people that I interviewed were absolutely amazing, but with everything that was going on in my personal life, I didn't realize my goal, like so many goals that didn't get realized last year because of what I was going through on a personal level. But I have been working on getting the magazine out. And part of that is doing some more interviews, some really great organizations that are working for women's rights and women's issues. And it's becoming more of what I had wanted, but I didn't really know how to make it happen, because I already have a magazine, musical theater magazine, and I kind of had the feeling that ArousedWoman magazine can't look or sound or feel the same way as musical theater magazine, obviously, but in terms of the layout and how I wanted it to look and how I wanted it to come across, I really have had to do some thinking on that. And I know that sounds crazy. If you've never had to put together a newsletter or a magazine or, something like that, maybe you don't understand what I'm talking about, or maybe I'm just not articulating it clearly. But I want ArousedWoman magazine to be something really special, and I wanted to have all of the stuff that'll interest the average person, the sex stuff, but it has to be full of information. The arts are so important to me. The arts are my life, but then also the activism, because politics and activism, or the lack of activism, affects every one of us on a daily basis. And so, just kind of thinking back on everything, it's just been amazing. I'm still doing interviews and still trying to get everything squared away, because now I'm afraid this first issue is going to be too big. And isn't that a great problem? Because there are so many organizations out there working to take away the stigma from abortion, and really fighting for women's rights and women's issues, or trying to work on, just organizations like Go Topless and Free the Nipple that are trying to work toward normalizing, the perception of women's bodies in public, because in most places it's illegal for women to go around topless, but men can jog on the public street topless. Interestingly, though, it wasn't until 1937 that men had that right. Before that, it was illegal, but you know what happened? Men banded together and they fought for their right to be topless in public. So this is what women are doing now. Random thoughts are happening. There was this meme that I posted somewhere, and it's a section of a library. It says women's studies, women authors. And it's like, why do we even have women's authors sections of the library? It's because it's just assumed that the predominance of writers, has always been male. So women have to have a special section of the library, just to showcase female writers. I've seen people who meninists, men's rights activists, who are pretty ridiculous. But they say, why is there women's studies in colleges? Why is that even a degree? Where's men's studies? It's like, that's actually history. Literally his story. All of history is men's studies. And so every time I see one of these things, whether it's a meme or an article, a video or something, it just shows how much more work we have to do. And and it takes being centered and balanced to really know where you're going. And I have not been centered or balanced in about a year. I'm working on that. I'm working toward that. One of the reasons why I'm doing a video every single day this year, whether it's good or bad, I'm doing it, is because I needed to make myself do something consistently. I needed to make myself accountable for, I said I was going to do this, and I did it. And what I find is that in a lot of the rights issues and working for women's rights and women's issues, and even, just basic constitutional rights, that it takes consistency. And it's when we are no longer consistent that we see the erosion of our rights, our basic human rights. I did this post on my Facebook wall about that Meet the Press, I think it was Meet the Press, Chuck Todd asking Ben Carson about, does the Bible have authority over the U.S. Constitution? And of course Carson didn't answer the question because he doesn't want to piss off his, Republican base. But the idea that the U.S. Constitution should be subservient to the Bible which, reinforces slavery and misogyny and torture and rape and war, no, that's not a good thing. In fact, the United States Constitution actually tries to, combat some of that, that we have basic human rights. And the U.S. Constitution doesn't give us rights. It protects the rights we have innately as human beings. These are basic human rights. Self-truths, inalienable. You know those words? You've heard of those words, right? Yeah, so it's so there's a lot that I'm digesting today. That's why this video is kind of random, is because I just have a lot coming at me, and I'm trying to digest and process it all. And I'm just trying to be the best person that I can be, because I know in my life I am at a fork in the road. And this is the first time in my life I've ever not known exactly what my future was going to hold, good or bad. When I was a kid, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I worked for it, and I wanted Broadway. When I was 25, found out I was pregnant, and ended that Broadway dream, but I knew I was going to be a mother. And so for the past 17 a little extra years, that has been my path, but I've worked on the Broadway thing on the side and doing musical theater, and I've worked on my activism, which has been a huge part of my life since I was 13. But now that my daughter is about to finish high school and I'll be free, but I'm too old to go for Broadway, activism is more important than ever right now because of the erosion of women's issues. But right now I feel this split. And so a part of doing Aroused Woman magazine and being an aroused woman, because arouse means to stir to action, to awaken. And Aroused Woman, my website and blog and whatever, focuses on arts, activism, and awakening. And so sometimes you can just feel overwhelmed, and that's how I feel today. It's how I feel a lot of days, and I know a lot of you do too. Because today I wanted to talk about our plank challenge. We're doing the plank challenge, and I have to go do my plank. So again, as usual, this video's gone way too long, but hey, this is my YouTube page, and you don't have to watch these videos, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every single one of you that, bothers to watch and listen to my rambling, that this is my life, and this is what I'm going through, and this is what I'm purging. And I know I am not the only one. I can't be. We are in a time of awakening where there is a shift going on. And if you are in that time of your life where you just feel off balance and you can't get a grip on things, you are so not alone. There are a lot of people there with you. But doing the plank challenge, even cleaning off my altar. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but that's my altar. And, just kind of tidying that up, it re-emphasizes the importance of, of cleaning the altar every single day, which I haven't been. Doing the plank, I realized how much I need to really incorporate certain exercises, and especially yoga, back into my daily regime. Getting back into walking rather than riding my bicycle so much. And so this has been an awakening for me, just doing this plank challenge for the last few days. So, random thoughts. It's just where I am today. And no, I'm not hormonal. I'm not on my period, so no. This is just me processing life, and I know a lot of us are kind of in the same boat. So I'm going to post this on my blog, ArousedWomanBlog.com, so that if you would like to respond, you can. You can also respond, of course, on the YouTube page. But yeah, I know a lot of us are going through some tough times right now, and so if anything, you're not alone, and sometimes it's kind of cool to not have a set path and kind of shake you up and see things differently, and it's okay to be never not broken, if you know what that means. If not, you need to check out my blog and some of my other YouTube videos, but anyway. Okay, so this is too long a video. It's going to take forever to load up to YouTube, so I just want to wish you the absolute brightest and best of blessings. I love you. I do. I love you all. And so Shahana, 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 which is Gaelic for peace.